Hey everybody, this is Rustin with Metalholic. With us today, the madman himself, Charlie Scene from Hollywood Undead. How you doing, brother?
Good. How you doing, Rustin?
Absolutely wonderful. The new album is going to be coming out here this week. We're all excited to hear it. I've listened to the whole thing now a few times, and I got to tell you, it's everybody wants to say it's sort of a collision of the first two albums, Swan Song and American Tragedy, but really, there's a lot more progression to it than that. Do you think I'm off base there, or?
No, I think you're right. I think we kind of, with every new record, we kind of evolve and change. We never wanted to just be one of those bands that just comes out with the same sounding record every new time they release something, you know? So I think that this is just a whole new chapter, and we're super stoked about it.
Well, and I got to tell you, and I'm sort of dating myself here by telling you this, but 40 years ago, the Eagles released Hotel California, which was sort of a look at the seedy underbelly of LA, if you will, and the disenfranchisement that sort of comes with the lifestyle. And it's sort of a microcosm of society as a whole. So here we are 4 decades later, and Notes from the Underground seems to have a similar theme.
Oh, yeah, it is. That's what happens when you live out here in LA. I mean, there's so much to talk about, and there's so many different themes that you can go off of. It's awesome.
So when you guys were getting ready to do this one, because usually they say the third album is where you really sort of find your voice, you know, that's when the label sort of gets off your back and everything, and you can really do things the way you want to do. What did you guys do differently this time when you headed into the studio?
This time it's true. The label was off our back this time. They trusted us, and we knew what we were doing. I mean, when we went to the studio, we totally have our sound now, and we started writing some of the stuff even on tour, and we just got the ball rolling right when we got home.
Right,
and good.
And you wrote a lot of stuff on this album. I mean, you always write a lot of stuff, but you really had your hand in it this time. Pick one of your songs that you were sort of the primary instigator of, and sort of put us in that place and tell us how it came together.
I would say Another Way Out is my favorite track on the record of the ones that I wrote, and I wanted to write something that was poppy, but also kind of scary in a way. It's kind of a creepy song, but it's also super poppy and hooky. And that was the one that, while it was one of those songs, like a lot of the songs that we write, they kind of take a while to make. You know, you're sitting in the studio for days, and then it's done. That song we recorded and finished in about 4 hours. It was just one of those things where it just one after another, one idea after another came up, and we just laid it down. The lyrics came. I mean, you didn't really have to think much. It just kind of happened.
And you say creepy as if that's something unusual for you, right?
Yeah.
So, now, and people overlook this a lot with you because you guys get out there, you rap, you sing and everything, but you're also the lead guitar player in the band, and you got John 5 on the album. I mean, what was that like for you as a guitarist to have him on the album? Because you're going to have to go out now and play what he played and everything, and how did he sort of get involved?
I know, he's so much better than me, too. That's going to be hard. I need to practice my chops a little bit. He got involved because our producer, Griffin Boyce, he did some Rob Zombie songs, and he was working with John 5 on his record. So we got him. He was interested in laying down some of the guitar. So he came in one day and did guitar on about 6 tracks and added his touch to it, and that was awesome because, I mean, we've all listened to White Zombie and Rob Zombie for a long time, so that was just an honor to have him on our record.
Well, and for you playing guitar and everything, are there a few influences that you have that sort of where you picked it up from, sort of developed your style?
Yeah, I mean, I listened to a lot of classic rock growing up and still now, so I think, you know, listening to Zeppelin and bands like that growing up, you kind of as a guitar player, you listen to how they write a song with their progressions, but also riffs over the top of it. So we try to keep our music like with riffs throughout the song, whether it's written on a guitar and then translated onto a synth. We try to have riffs in our songs and cool progressions and things.
Nice. Now, you guys obviously just got done doing the first video, We Are. You worked with Clown from Slipknot. Pretty intense video. What was it like working with the man?
That was awesome. That's another band that we look up to, Slipknot, and we couldn't believe that how passionate and excited he was. Like, he individually called each of us before we shot it, and we talked on the phone for an hour. just about the video and just about life and music forever. Like, he wanted to get to know each one of us individually and then put all that together into a music video, and it was just awesome working with him. He's such a cool guy.
Well, that's one of the things I was going to ask. It's like, you know, you call, you talk about the video and everything for a few minutes, but you were on the phone for like an hour. What did you talk with this guy about?
We just talked about music. We talked about the music industry and what that's like, and how it's hard sometimes to create art when you have someone telling you what to do, and how artists have to stay strong and stick together because it's us against the world. And yeah, he's a really cool guy. He's awesome.
So, and in the video, you get to torch a guy, you know, and then you write a song on the album called Kill Everyone. I'm seeing a recurring theme here.
Yeah, I guess I have anger issues. I don't know. I think it's just... I like watching horror movies, and so does he. We talked about horror movies for a while also, and we wanted to have the video to super creepy and just stuff that you haven't seen before. Like, I got to light a guy on fire. That was awesome. The guy, most of the times when you see horror movies, you see, like, when they light the guy on fire, he's wearing like a dummy mask to protect his face. But that guy, he didn't have anything. He just had some jelly put on his face. So that those flames are actually engulfing his entire head, and it was really intense.
Yeah, well, you want to talk to that guy afterwards and go, what is that experience like? Because I never want to find out for myself. But
yeah, seriously. And he, I thought he was like a dude who's done it like 100 times. I was like, hey, man, how many times have you been set on fire? He's like, oh, this is my 4th time. Like, oh, my God. This could definitely go wrong.
We all know you're a big horror fan. Are there one or two horror films that sort of are your all-time classics?
The Shining is one of them, definitely. And, let's see, Poltergeist. Those are the classics, you know. You got to pay respect to those. And then I saw some new ones this year that are on Netflix that are good, too. The Innkeepers I liked, and Insidious I thought was good, too.
Right, that creepy old guy in the Innkeeper is like...
Yeah, so creepy.
So, but, and that's the thing, it's like, you say horror films, but you go sort of for the films that aren't really so much about the gore, but more about that intensity in them that freaks you out, less than just the blood.
Yeah.
And I saw they're coming out with another Texas Chainsaw Massacre. How many times can they do this film, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not really into the slasher stuff. I like more like ghosts or zombies, stuff like that. That's better to me. More
intensity to it to creep you out. But and I sort of wondered, I don't know why I this came to mind, but I sort of wondered, because you guys referenced Black Dahlia on the first album. Do you have sort of a fascination with serial killers?
No, not real. I mean, I guess so. Kind of, yeah. I watch documentaries and stuff on that, and that stuff, I don't know, I get too weirded out after watching those. They kind of stay with me. They linger a little bit after I watch them. And yeah, the Black Dahlia murder, that was just, you know, a famous thing that happened in L.A. And
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't even a serial killer. It was one murder, but because it was never solved, it stuck with us. But hey, we still got the Zodiac out there somewhere, assuming he's not dead yet. So
yeah, that's right.
Now, you guys are all over the place musically, but obviously primarily rap with the rock edge is your thing. But you guys have always been so closely identified and united with the metal scene. What's that all about? How does that happen?
Honestly, that's one of the things that I wonder too, because our music isn't metal, and whenever we're put on a bill, we're always with these metal bands. It's weird because we have that hip hop side, but when we play shows, there's people moshing to it and beating the hell out of each other. So I don't know. I have no idea what that is, but it's a perfect fit for some reason, and I think that's awesome.
Well, and speaking of which, you guys are usually out on pretty big tours, Avenged Sevenfold, stuff like that. You've done a lot of stuff with some really heavy bands, Stone Sour, and gone out on some really good arena tours, you know, big end clubs and whatnot. But my understanding is you guys are going to sort of kick off the release of the album with a small, sort of intimate club tour.
Yeah, that's what we want to do. We want to do an intimate thing, you know, just for the hardcore fans. And if they pre-order the album, they get to go to the front of the line, and it's just it's better, you know. You get to interact, and it feels a lot more special when it's at a small place and people are right there, other than an arena filled with people, and you know, people kind of get lost. We try to do that, you know, every time we come out with a new record, play for our hardcore fans and let them be the first ones who are allowed in and put on a show for them.
Nice. So, and of course you're skipping over my town, so screw you guys. But no, hopefully you'll get back sometime on the tour. But so,
Yeah.
what are you into outside of music besides horror films?
Something else that I'm into? Let's see. That's a good question. I'm into oh man, movies. I guess directing. I like also directing things. I film my own movies and little short films and stuff, and I've always wanted to get into directing music videos or movies at some point in my life, and so I guess that's another hobby I have. I collect cameras and film things and take pictures and stuff.
Well, see, you get Johnny Three Tears. He's got to write the thing, because I know he wants to do screenplays, and then you make it.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll have your own production company there and everything. All right, so
exactly.
And obviously we're at the beginning of the year. Everybody always asks, but I got to ask you because you're a twisted individual. Any twisted New Year's resolutions for you?
I'm gonna try to stop smoking crack. No, I'm kidding. I'm gonna try to stop smoking cigarettes on this one. It's not very twisted, but it's so impossible. I'm trying my best.
Well, we will hope that you are able to do that. It's a good thing, and it sends a great message to the fans, obviously, too. You know, you get out there in those clubs and everything, and people are drinking. There's so many people that do that just because they drink, and it's a social thing. And, you know, when they got people they look up to that are able to put it away, and that's a big thing. So, Charlie Scene, thank you so much for taking the time. Hollywood Undead, the new album, Notes from the Underground, January 8th. It's going to be a beast. It's the best record so far. I mean, each of the first two albums had some great stuff, but again, I really think you guys have sort of found your groove on this one, so it really makes me excited for where you're going to go from this point on.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that.
Absolutely. Have a good one. Have a great tour, and we'll see you out on the road.